I'm not surprised.
What are you doing?
I mean, dude, there's just so much conspiracy out there nowadays.
It's not even
There's
conspiracies.
so much, and people are just
because
getting louder in the new age, in this age of the internet. And,
oh my god,
podcast, you can't really combat them. I mean, like, look at you.
How
You
about
think
this?
he's like
All right,
George
how about this?
Soros.
How about this? Nobody brought up George Soros but you.
I'm just saying that's
you
how you
just
treat
because
him
you're
like. That's exactly
No.
how you treat him like. I'm just calling it spade a spade.
No.
Hey everybody, Jordan from Back Society here. Do me a favor and click that subscribe button below and hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single episode. Now, back to grinding.
All right, welcome back to Back Society. I'm your co-host Jay with my other co-hosts.
S.
And of
C
course, you know
Money.
the other
What's
one.
up?
What's up, guys? How has your week been? What is up?
Chilling,
Bro.
working a lot.
Working
we work
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, 120
Bro.
hours, dude.
Some-
Rough.
with some workaholics.
bro. I
Workaholic.
feel like I wake up, get the kids ready, I go to work. By the time I get home, I'm making dinner and then put the kids to bed, and I'm like, I'm tired. I need to go to bed.
Getting
Like
old.
I haven't been to the gym in like 2 weeks. Like work is just like crazy, bro. Today though, oh dude, it's been nuts. But today, I was like, I'm gonna go just outside. I just sat outside for 30 minutes. I didn't eat anything. I didn't do anything. I just like looked at my phone for the 30 minutes under the sun. It's beautiful here. It's like
Yeah.
70 degrees.
It's beautiful here
Sun's
too right
out.
now.
Oh
Yeah.
my
You know, when
God.
Scott says work is crazy, you know, it's fine because he's a dealer. But when you say work is crazy, I'm a little concerned.
Bro, don't worry about it.
I get a little concerned in the back of my head. Like, why is it crazy right now?
It's
I didn't want to say anything either, but I was like, yeah, dude.
work is crazy. Is crazy. And honestly, you could just look at things just out there, right? Like there's a lot of like friction and concern within the Department of Defense about restructuring and cuts, budgets, all kinds of stuff, man. You know, just it, so that like puts people on edge, and I think that kind of just like drives up the tension at work.
Right.
Um,
They're just
But,
like, we got to look
yeah.
more useful, guys.
But you know
Bro.
what? It will pass.
I mean, it will, but you got to get
Yeah.
through it, man.
But like, for how long? Or do we have to wait 4 years or perhaps 8? You never know what's going to happen in 2028, right?
Oh my god, whatever, man. Yeah, it's wild though, but dude, it's been crazy, man.
What about you, Jay? I
Me?
see you created a TikTok
Yeah.
going around the city. I'm glad you're doing it.
Yeah, I've been making TikToks, just just me around the city, just traveling what I'm eating. And yeah, but work's been fairly normal here. I mean, yeah, there's tension and shit because the whole AI shitty revolution. So there's tension there. There's a little push to be more useful, stuff like that. And right now I'm a little stretched thin throughout work. So I'm on multiple teams right now.
Oh, valuable.
Unfortunately, I don't even know why. I'm definitely not the smartest guy there, but like, it's been good. I've been trying to do more video editing, more with the haunted podcast. This podcast, I like the openers I did in the last 2 episodes for this one. I thought that was
Yeah.
really good. What else? Oh, I've been working on grandstands again. So
Oh yeah, that's been dope.
Doing a lot of work.
And God, I wish I just had more time in my life.
Dude,
I-
it's got
I
to be
get it,
tough
but,
with
like,
the
my
kids
drive
too.
is just like, dude, I don't want to be a 9-to-5er forever.
Yeah,
That's the
I feel that. Like, yeah, but you know what? I've been trying to focus on. So I started doing intermittent fasting,
There you
and
go.
I've been
go.
trying. So I've been doing 20-hour fasts all week. So my meal window I've been giving myself is from 5 to 9, but it's been really more like between 5 and 8 at night. And then
Okay.
during the day, I'm just like black coffee and water, and that's it. And after
Well-
the first day sucked.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
sucked. But like the second day, I was like, I'm all right. And I've been
Now-
busy enough at work where my head, I'm not even like thinking about it.
Yeah, so like before you did intermittent fasting, like if you ate something during the day while you're at work, did you ever like be like, "Oh, I'm tired," or "I don't feel like doing this anymore"?
Sometimes, but so usually if I eat at work, it's like a snack. It's nothing heavy. It's not a lot because I don't. Sometimes I'm just too busy to really eat. The most I'll eat sometimes is I'll go to like we have like a grocery store on base, and I'll get like a deli like a wrap, just like
Fire.
and that's it. and
Yeah.
just like no chips or anything, just like a wrap, and I'll drink some water. But man, like sometimes I'm just like too busy to even like sit down and like enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So but then because of this, I mean, I feel pretty good, but I'm also like trying to get more sleep, like better sleep.
Yeah.
You know, like trying to get like a solid 7 hours. So I've been going to bed a little earlier. So I've been waking up a little earlier. So I'm hoping that now that I'm waking up earlier,
You
we'll be
just
able to turn that into something else. You know what I mean? Like get up, maybe like go for a run or something,
yeah.
and then do something. You know,
There you
with
go.
my
Because I know for me, I wake up. I pretty much either go to bed at 1 a.m. or midnight. I wake up every morning at 7:30, and then I am moving the entire day. Like as
Mhm.
soon as I get home, like I do the same thing. I intermittent fast, so I only eat once, and that's when I get home from work. And as soon as I eat, and then when I sit down on that couch, it's over.
It's
I
over.
know, dude.
It's over.
That's my problem. That's my problem, dude. And I'm the only I cook every night, right? And so
Yeah.
like, you know, by the time we put the boys to bed and everything, and I just sit down, I'm just like, I don't want to
Yo.
do anything, dude.
I
I don't want to leave my couch. I don't some days I don't even want to turn the TV on. I'm just sitting there like
Dude,
and quiet.
I get it. Like, there's been a couple nights where I pass out in my office doing something, and that'll happen every now and again. But I barely play video games anymore. I don't really watch TV anymore, except it's something really good like Andor. Watch it; it's amazing. Holy shit, it's better than prequels. Um, but it's
Shadow
rare,
Andor.
dude. I've been just like working on my side projects like as best I can, and I've been passing out on my desk half the time. But
Man.
it's like
Yeah.
it feels like the day is just gone as soon as you're done with work. Like it's over.
And you work from home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm a little jealous for that.
Don't you like, I don't know for you, Jordan, but like Chris, for me, it feels like days are so long. Like, I mean, like, I listened to that podcast earlier today, and then come around 1 o'clock, I was like, man, I forgot to even listen about that podcast. I was so busy doing other
Man,
stuff.
it depends on my day, bro. Like some days I'm just like, wow, it's only 1 o'clock. And then other days I'm like, I didn't get anything done today. I've just been in meetings all day, you know, or briefing people. I'm running around. You know, this is a really dumb thing to complain about. But where I work, there are no fucking elevators because it's in these old World War II German buildings. And
Ew.
my office is on the 5th floor, bro. And it's just a slog
Up and
every
down.
day, dude, and go like all the way down, all the way up in the
It's
morning,
cardio, man. I mean, like,
and
I'm
then
only
all the way
assuming you have a
down.
desk job. You gotta fit it in when you can.
Yeah, but then I gotta walk to another building and go all the way up and then all the way down, and it's just nonstop steps, dude. You would, and then that's why some people don't even go outside because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I gotta go all down all these fucking steps, dude. There's some fat ass dudes who work in our building. And I'm like, "How are you not skinnier just from walking to work every day?" There's one dude, he takes breaks at every level because it's just he can't.
You have to observe him. Do what Bill Gates does. They said the laziest people are the smartest because they find the shortcuts. He probably found like a secret elevator.
There's
or
no
something.
shortcut. No, it's impossible.
You
It's
never-
impossible because I'm watching him go up the steps, dude. I'm telling you, there's some days I'll go up and I'm like, "Shit, I forgot something. I gotta go all the way back down." He's still going up. The shortcut is he's probably charging the government for the time it takes him to walk up the steps, dude.
He's already clocked in.
He's clocked. He opens the front door. He's like, I'm at work. I'm at work, baby." Like,
Oh my god.
but man, now actually our big thing right now is we're planning a couple trips.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's pretty nice. We're going to Spain soon. So
Jeez.
Barcelona, maybe
no, we're going to Mallorca.
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 Oh yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
Wow.
Mallorca, going to the Netherlands in August. Going down to Edelweiss and Garmisch in for 4th of July.
Spending 4th of July
Yeah.
in a foreign country, dude.
Well, we're
Amazing.
staying at the American resort in southern
Ooh.
Germany because they have like 4th of July party and stuff. and the whole town.
Actually, that sounds pretty cool. I have my travel plans, but I'm also trying to do more events too. Like, there's a couple like festivals I'm going to, some raves I'm going to, which I can't wait for because I love EDM, dude. I think it's the best genre. Gonna be fun.
There you go.
There you go. Be fun. Scott, you need to do something, man.
Nah, bro, I'm stuck on grind mode. I'm on grind.
We almost
grinding
went
for someone else, man. You're not grinding for yourself.
Nah, dude.
I don't want to hear your grind mode bullshit.
Nah, I'm out here.
We almost did a impromptu trip to Italy this weekend to go see the Grand Prix down there, but we just couldn't line it up. We didn't feel like driving with the dog for 8 hours.
You couldn't have somebody watch it?
We like looked around. Our dog sitter was like already had another dog and stuff. And it was like we just decided like 2 days ago, like, hey, let's look into it. And like having to like get the kid, it would have been quick, right? It would have been like a Friday afternoon to like leaving back on Monday morning. And it's like an 8-hour drive, like a solid 8-hour drive.
That's not bad. It's not bad. When I took Jordan and Tegan to Maryland, what was that, like 12 hours solid? Nonstop.
12 hours.
Hungover.
We stopped.
I slept for 4 hours.
There was like
the
no
night
AC.
Hungover.
Tegan's fighting for her life in the back seat, looking like she just got like gassed.
I felt bad because it was so hot, and
she looked terrible.
So this is what happened. I felt so bad. Like I had the air blowing towards the window.
So just sucking it out, dude. It's just wow.
And then afterwards, I was like, I clicked the button. I was like, oh. It was
Dude,
bad.
It
was
so
bad.
funny. We like stopped in Ohio, and she like walked out, and it looks like someone dumped a bucket of water on her.
Dripping.
Like, I'll take the back seat so you can get the AC. She's like, no, it's fine.
Bro.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. You know, like we did the drive before. It wasn't too bad. It's just like with the dog and then the
story.
2 boys, like you gotta stop. It's an 8-hour drive turns into a 9-10-hour drive just because you gotta stop the time.
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the drives to Florida when we were kids. It was
bro. That's what I was telling my boy. I'm like, you guys don't even know.
You don't even know
what it's like to be in a van for 13 hours. Give me a break.
No iPod, no phone.
Yeah.
You have
no
iPad to entertain you, and maybe a CD player.
Bro, you were lucky if your worm light was working on your Game Boy because it wasn't even backlit, bro.
Right, dude. That night it sucked because it's like that worm light is cool and all, but it's just in the way.
Yo.
It's in the way. It's too bright, really, you know? Dude, when they came out with the backlit Game Boy screen, it was like fucking wow.
Game changer. Alien tech.
Bro, it was wild. These kids they don't even understand.
We really had
now they got phones,
there, bro. It's crazy,
bro. Peeing in a bottle and shit. Like, come on, dude.
Only 90s kids would understand.
Swear. And it's crazy too, because back then there was no GPS, so we were.
I don't know how people.
I still remember like our parents like printing out like the MapQuest like pages on pages.
Yeah, and MapQuest was even a little bit later. That was a little bit later too. You know what I mean? Like when we were like 5 and 6 years old, there was no fucking MapQuest. It was like kind of becoming a thing, and like nobody like nowadays. If we're going somewhere, I'm booking a hotel online. I'm not like showing up to a fucking motel being like, "You got a room?"
Yeah.
Like, what? Bro,
yeah.
It was wild. It was a different time, man.
Different timeline.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's just like that was like only like 20 years. Crazy.
I know, man. You know what's crazy too? Like, can you imagine like handing somebody a map and being like, get to Florida? They wouldn't know what to do. Like if it was like a regular, remember the big atlases?
Yeah.
It was like I
don't even know like the street names. Like you got 66 Route 66. I don't know what that is. Route 90.
They just said 95, just take it straight to Florida, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was in college and and me and my friends were driving to Chicago. Yeah, we stopped by the gas station. We got one of those maps, dude. And I'm like in the front seat, just like, oh shit, dude. I forgot that we have like a "you are here" symbol, you know?
Oh yeah. You're like,
dude, you're just guessing. Like, what?
we're like trying to get to Cleveland. We ended up in Cincinnati. We're like, oh, fuck. Oh, this is harder than it looks.
Bro,
Just
try
drive
doing that,
it.
try doing that shit out here when the signs aren't in English. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I still don't understand how they number roads out here. Like, what's the highway, vice, like an inner country road?
Just say
Like, I don't
highway vice.
like highway, like you know how we have like the interstate or just like a highway kind of system, right? We have different numbering systems, like a state, but it's like a interstate, right? They're like different symbols. I can't tell the difference out here. I have no idea. I don't know. It's like a local road or a highway or an interstate. I don't know even what they call it.
Inner country, I guess. I mean, they're the size of states.
I know. It's crazy, bro.
It is crazy. All right, guys. So, as we all know, this week, our president was in Saudi Arabia, met with Mohammed bin Saud.
Yeah.
Sorry. And man, what a time, dude! And he also got a new jumbo jet plane.
That's from Qatar, though. That's from Qatar.
Yes, that is from Qatar.
Yeah.
Like, man, the Middle East is just heaping on him right now. How do we all feel about it?
I mean, the middle, like, I do know, like, in their culture, like, say you were in Saudi Arabia and you were like, hey, that's a nice watch. The person would be like, here, you can have the watch. Like, they're like that. They give gifts just for, like, because they're not really materialistic. I mean, they're materialistic, but in a different way.
They seem pretty
I
materialistic.
was like,
to me
what
over
are
there.
you talking about, bro?
But I'm just saying where it's like they give gifts. It's not
There's
a bad thing.
there's a difference between giving a nice watch and a $400 million aircraft.
Bro, the middle. I mean, look how much. I mean, that's like nothing to. They have unlimited money.
I think the concern is
What's the concern?
They're buying influence.
Yeah, it's not the first time too.
I mean, like, what? That's the American way. Everybody has
connections with Jared Kushner.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different. You could do a whole day's worth of podcast on that. But bro, but think about it from a security standpoint. Do you want another country building Air Force One?
No.
That's what they're doing. They're gonna start flying this thing as Air Force One and have it kitted out.
Okay, how about this though? So, like, do you know those before the elections, the PACs?
Yeah.
Doesn't Israel have a PAC here?
Yeah,
you're talking about APAC.
Don't you think they're buying influence?
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
But I wouldn't say it's quite as overt.
I'm not for APAC.
No, it's this. I know, but I'm just saying, what's the difference?
Foreign influence. People are enriching themselves through it. I don't really care through it. I don't really care.
Here's the thing. They're like, there's a difference, but it's also different when you're the president getting this kind of gift, right? And they're saying, hey, this is going to be temporary Air Force One, and then it's going to move to the Trump library. So that's not even really a gift to the country. It's a gift to Trump, right? And they're disguising it as a gift to like the DOD or whatever. I don't know, man. The whole thing is just wild. I just
you think it's sketch because you're right. Like, he could be in there and then somebody might like disable it while it's in the air or something.
We don't know what they got on that.
Right.
Bird.
No, I mean,
those things are huge. Like, they'd have to take it apart to like find stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because it's probably bugged from head to toe.
And the Qataris, bro, they're friendly with the Iranians.
They are.
I mean,
they play the game.
They play the game.
They're friends with everybody.
They play the game.
They play the game.
Like, it's no secret, Trump likes to enrich himself, and there's this like opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing to him. Like, it's 100% that.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, like,
playing to his vanity.
But you're right though. Like, Secret Service, his security is like, all right, this is either probably bugged, like you said, or like they probably went through and scanned it or whatever, or it was just how Trump is. It's just for optics. You know what I mean? They all probably play the games just for optics. Oh, I'm giving you this jumbo jet or whatever. But Trump they're
talking about flying it as Air Force One, bro.
Are you saying like he's doing an art of the deal here?
No, I'm saying it's just for show. It's just for TV. It's like, I mean, it makes a lot of sense now that Chris says it's security measure wise, unless there's no way you can put the president of the United States on that jet because it's probably bugged, like you said, or there's some type of something that could go wrong.
Well, even if you just don't know, right? Like you err on the side of caution. Like Air Force One is built to make national security decisions to launch a nuke from. You know what I mean? Like there's just like that's why a lot of this stuff they're like you have to make it in America. You have to make it in America. A lot of that's why they're so expensive too, right? Is because a lot of the components have to be made in America for national security reasons. So it's just I don't know, man. It's like it's the it's what it's used for that kind of sketches me out more than just the fact that they gave him a gift. Like they're always giving people gifts, bro.
I don't
they're
think
they're donating to people's foundations and shit.
Yeah.
Like the Clintons, they made big donations to the Clinton foundations and shit.
But
But
I
it's
don't
like
think it's a big deal because personally, he's probably like, "Oh, thank you. I'll use this for this," but really just throws it in the closet.
no, dude, he's been talking about it. And it's really more of a because he's pissed off at Boeing for one kind of delaying the building of the new Air Force Ones. And this is a big thing in his first term, right? He was like, he wanted to paint it like his Trump gold color and shit. But he was like, "Hey, you're gonna renegotiate the contract. We're gonna pay less, and I want it sooner."
Yeah, I
And they were
remember
like,
that.
"We can't do that." And so it was supposed to be delivered this year, I think, or early next year, and now it's not until like 20. I can't remember, 2029 or something like that.
What company built the jumbo jet for the Saudis?
I think it was the Qataris. I think it's also
the
a Boeing.
Qataris. Oh, it's Boeing.
I think it's a Boeing. And you know, I heard something interesting. Is like I can't remember what I was listening to, but they were like, you know, a real gift that the Qataris could have given to Trump is ordered 10 jets from Boeing to boost Boeing's sales and American business.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been more of a hey, we're going to invest in and purchase all this shit from America.
Yeah,
Well, I think they are.
Not to mention, it'd be much less of like a scandal or like scandal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the optics are way better.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah, but
yeah,
I don't think this is a big deal. Like not at all.
that's what you say. Until he starts flying on the bad boy.
That until he starts flying on it, then we might be like, listen. But I don't think so. Or
I mean, he
maybe-
might bow to the pressure a little bit and be like, you know what, we'll take it and we'll just hold on to it and never fly it as Air Force One.
Yeah,
But you know,
or he
but
just
if
might
Boeing-
hold on to it until the end of his term and just start using
But if-
it for himself.
Boeing
it's gonna
made it-
as soon as his term is over. I heard that it was supposed to be donated to his library.
yeah, it's his library foundation. But the thing is, like, that thing's gonna be way too expensive to maintain, even as a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like, he's not that much of a billionaire.
I don't know, man. Let's see his net worth when he leaves office.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see.
Qatari has real slaves.
They do, man. That's the thing with Qatar, man.
Yeah,
It's like it's a really weird dynamic because they're really strategic for us from a national security standpoint.
yeah.
They're very much a neutral arbiter, but they also have like legitimate slavery
They have
going
real
on.
slaves.
It's wild, bro.
I mean,
Yeah.
who
It's
do you think
wild.
is building? I mean, it's not even just them. Look at like Saudi Arabia, Emirates. Who do you think's building it? It's not the people that live there.
I know, man. It's crazy.
I do know.
It's like
Didn't
Pakistanis, Indians.
the crown Saudi prince though? Didn't we talk about this? How he completely cut off his family, like he like
You mean
how he
when he
took
put
power?
him in when he put him in the Ritz Carlton,
The Ritz Carlton, yeah,
Bro, sign me up, dude. Put me away. Like, what are we doing? What are we talking
It's
about?
just like that's considered like cutting off. That's awesome.
But he said they were all. I think he accused them all of embezzlement and stuff like that.
He
His
was
uncles.
accusing him of all kinds of stuff, man. Like,
Yeah, but that's the thing about like accusations from a despot, man. You got to take it with like a grain of salt, though.
But here's the crazy part. He's our age. That's the crazy part. I think
Yeah,
he's
but
like
we
a couple.
weren't born
Yeah,
in
he's
that
like
family.
37, 38.
bro,
But I'm just saying.
he's also kind of a sociopath.
Well, I mean, you have to be.
Like, he consolidated power immediately.
Yeah,
Because he thought
exactly.
he was like,
Mhm.
you know, I ain't gonna give you the chance, bro.
I would do the same if I was born as him. I'd be like,
whoa,
sorry, guys.
jeez, man,
This
Jeez,
Ritz Carlton
bro.
gonna be the only
You gotta
place
try-
go.
You gonna try and take me out, man? What's wrong with you,
Hey,
bro?
little brother, little third in line for the throne over here. Ritz Carlton for you.
But I mean, like, dude, just being a Saudi prince or part of that family.
It's crazy, bro.
You know what though? I heard in Qatar, if you're Qatarian, once you turn 18, you get like Lambos, you get your own mansion, you know, you get you get slaves, like you get all that stuff.
Well, if you're a legitimate Qatari citizen and somehow connected to the royal family, yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's a different life, bro. They got, I mean, that's oil money for you, man. That's like real oil money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All I know
Like-
is that we have to figure out the secret to reincarnation. You know,
How?
that's what I'm saying.
You know what though? You know what I'd probably do? I'd probably be the heir to North Korea, son. I think that's a pretty dope life.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a dope life until one of your siblings
I mean,
gets into power, and then you're getting assassinated in Disney.
You are
well, he was his half brother, so
you
know.
are the god in North Korea.
I mean, you're a living god. Like that's
You are.
literally what you are. Like it doesn't get any better. You got your harem of like whatever. You have all the country's electricity. You have all the country's food and booze, and
you can
you
just
know,
make up shit, make it law. Like you could say
yeah.
you created the hamburger.
you could say you created the hamburger. You
I
could
thought
say
he
you
did create the
gummy,
hamburger.
gummy worms. Gummy worms was the other one. He created
Greatest
gummy
golf
worms.
player of all time.
Yeah,
Most Olympians out
bro.
of any country. It's crazy.
the most.
The most.
I mean,
Gold
think about it.
medal.
Kim Jong Un was able to get Dennis Rodman to come to his country for just no reason. You
Yeah.
know, like it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Dude, you can tour there. You want to go?
He's got
Scott?
now you could tour there, but he had other celebrities come there, and I remember, I think it was Hulk Hogan. No, it was Ric Flair. Remember, Ric Flair said
Ric Flair
he
went
got
to
asked.
Korea.
He
Yeah,
got asked.
But it was Dennis Rodman who brought them all out there.
But
Remember,
who
because
brought-
Rodman went the first time, and then he brought a bunch of people out.
Dude, that
But
The
was
I think-
Globetrotters, I
crazy.
think, went.
One of the celebrities was like, "We're not going home. He's gonna make us stay here forever.
Yeah,
Like we're
yeah.
not going home."
Dude,
Like they were genuinely scared.
All right.
You know?
all right. Saudi crown. Okay, so you'd rather be a Qatari crown prince, Scott. Chris would rather be, I don't know, the son of Kim Jong Un. You know, Chris wants to be up there with his full military parade, going like,
bro, are you kidding me? I can be like, there's only one haircut in this country, and everybody be like, fuck. All right.
Gotta go bald.
Like, how amazing is that, dude?
I would straight up look at my generals and be like, not enough medals. I need
Dude,
more.
Absolute power. Absolute power. I could literally look at you and be like, you're dead. And they're like, fuck, I guess I'm dead, dude. You know what I mean?
I guess I'm dead.
I don't even have to lock them in a Ritz Carlton. You know, like I take them out back, I sick the dogs on them, blow them up with some aircraft artiillery. Like it's whatever you want.
Is that the only?
You'd be waking
Is that
up
the only
like,
country
another
like that?
missile test in South Korea. Need to go get
Is
it.
that the only country like that?
No, there's like Azerbaijan is kind of like that. No, Uzbekistan is kind of like that.
No, Turkmenistan.
Turkmenistan, right?
Yeah, I never even
yes,
heard of that.
Turkmenistan.
That's with the fire pit place, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
And that's the
yes.
dude who named all the months like after himself and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Bro,
thinking of. Turkmenistan and like I think
yeah.
the other one is like Belarus is another good one.
Belarus is pretty wild. That's really just a Russian puppet state.
Russian.
It is,
puppet,
but,
yeah.
like-
I think Myanmar, if I'm not mistaken, was kind of like that. I don't know, man.
Wasn't there like a military junta?
Yeah, there was. Venezuela.
Venezuela,
Ooh.
there you go.
Nice
Venezuela's
weather,
another
yeah.
one. Albania, I think you'll be pretty safe there. Being part of the
Albania's
ruling
pretty
class.
wild.
Huh?
Yeah. I said Albania is pretty wild.
There you go. You just got to pick which one you want. Me, I think I'd be like a crown prince in Saudi Arabia. I think I could really survive.
You want to be a ruling class here in America?
Nah,
Oh, so
you know
you'd
what?
rather be born a Trump.
Is that a ruling class?
It must be a
Current
Kennedy.
ruling class.
No, the Kennedys get killed right off the rip, man. Are you kidding me?
Can you imagine, like, you get
Can't even have time to enjoy it.
reincarnated and you're a Kennedy and you're like, oh shit.
You're like, oh
People are
snap,
like,
Bro,
what are we doing
yeah.
today? We're going to Texas.
Ugh.
Bro. Yeah, you're like, yeah, did they install the plate in the back of my head? I don't know, man. I think the royal families in the Middle East are like in the Persian Gulf, a little too cush, man. I want a little bit of hardness in my life, like North Korea, bro.
What do you
Hard-
mean
hard-
what hardness that you have to watch out for your siblings?
Cold,
Cold.
True.
right?
True.
Okay, it's cold. You know, sometimes the internet might go out. You know,
You're the
But
only
at
one that
same
has it.
time, At the same time, do you really want to be knocked out of life by Brendan?
You got a whole Starlink to yourself.
I mean, I think I'd take my chances. You know,
Brendan just
and here's the
plotting and
thing.
scheming.
Yeah,
It's hard for those guys to travel. Brendan, yeah, he could be plotting, bro. It's whatever. You gotta pull the trigger. All right.
No, you got to be like, eat my food,
They're not
take a
pulling the
taste.
trigger. He's just like, getting one of his harems to do it. That's what you got to do, man. That's how Kim Jong Un took out his older half brother. It was like 2 women.
Yeah, yeah. That I mean, like that's what you do.
Born in North Korea. And they claimed that they were told they were on a game show or whatever.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, isn't that crazy?
But think about it. Kim Jong Un doesn't really go anywhere. The Saudis can go all over the world. If you're a despot like Kim Jong Un, it's tough, bro. You're kind of landlocked. You can go to China. You can go to Russia. You got.
Can he go to China?
He does. Yeah, he's got that train. They take that
They
train.
got trained straight to China. It's like a 12-hour train ride, though.
It's a bulletproof train. That's all that matters.
Mm.
And he brings his harem along.
I want to be a ruling class in like Japan in like the 1550s or something.
Relax, Kenshin. All right.
Where I'm just the number one.
Fucking Kenshin, dude.
Yeah.
It was weird to be part of the Emperor's family back then, man, because it's not like you go out in public either. You can't. You have to have the mystique of your godhood.
Yeah, they made you kind of stay locked away.
But then when you do go out,
and not to mention you're a puppet of the Shogun back then.
but then when you do go out, they're like, oh my God. Oh my God.
They don't say, oh my God. They're like, oh my God, I'm about to get killed.
No, man. You go out there, that mystique, that godhood or whatever.
I'll tell you what, man. If you know, at least in North Korea, you're going to have 50 million people crying when you die. Like, what more
That's
can a
true.
person ask for?
And they will remember your name.
What more do you?
They're like,
My
He
picture
gazed
will
at
be in
me.
every single house and building and room in the entire country.
they'll be like, I remember
There's-
October 12th, 1989. He looked in my direction and I felt the
Changed
holiness.
my life. Changed my life.
Mine,
You
it was
know?
Changed my
mine.
life. Not only you can say that, you can, you could just tell the populace, when I was born, trumpets were playing from the sky. A chariot
Dude.
came down to bless me. Like
It's like, hold on, let
people-
me
and
chat
people will look at you
GPT
like-
this real quick.
Bro, I'd get
That's-
real weird with it.
You
got-
There's- I mean, you have a chance to be part of the ruling family. I mean, Kim Jong Un's sister she's not bad looking at all.
His
What?
sister?
Yeah, his
Yeah, I
sister.
mean, yeah.
Whatever the minister.
She seems pretty ruthless. She seems pretty ruthless.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. Kim Jong Un. He's the.
She looks like the lady
stoic
from
leader, and
Dodgeball.
so she's the attack dog. That's like the
But she-
dynamic they're going for.
Yeah, and she's also a woman, so they don't think she could ever really rule the country. Also, I think he only has a daughter. He doesn't have a son.
He does.
Oh,
have a dog
really?
that we know of.
Which is
I
an-
mean,
Yeah,
we
which
didn't
is
know
an issue for
Kim-
him.
Yeah, but we didn't know
Yeah.
Kim Jong Un really knew anything about him until he became, leader.
That's what they say about Putin. Putin has kids everywhere that you just don't know about.
Putin does have kids, but all I'm saying is that, guys, it's 2025. I'm ready for a dictate her.
That's so dumb, dude. That's so dumb.
No, it's awesome. Dude. You're just not progressive enough, dude.
I guess. You know what? I'll live with it.
You got to get progressive, man.
You gotta get-
But
You need-
we
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 need a
did leave out-
Cleopatra in our lives.
what about being a
Yes.
Russian oligarch?
Mm.
What about? Hold on, say that again.
It's a pretty good. Being a Russian oligarch is a pretty good life.
It's a
Yeah.
pretty good life, but at the same time, I'm gonna watch out. I'm gonna flinch every time I'm near a window.
Straight
you
mobsters.
don't cross them. Don't cross Putin. If you go with the flow, you got nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
you got nothing to worry about, but you still got to worry about the windows. You got to worry. There's like a 50-50 shot if you own like something overseas, like a house or something, gonna get seized. You never know. You wake up.
Well,
your yacht's
I'm not
gone.
talking. All right, let's just say pre-2022. Being a Russian oligarch was pretty great.
Yeah, I'll say
Right?
that was pretty good.
Like they
Yeah.
all got yachts. They got
giant
houses around the
yachts.
world. Yeah,
Giant yachts.
you know, it's just it's a pretty good. It's your money. It's not your family's money, right? Like
It's true.
you know, you don't have 1,000 cousins. You got a couple kids, couple mistresses. You know, you just live in the life.
Yeah. You're
Ooh,
fat,
man.
Communism
good.
worked for you. It's great.
smoking cigars.
Mm,
You know?
now I'm like,
You have a vodka fountain just sitting there at all times.
mm,
You know?
Yeah.
Really stocked with like Stoli.
that sounds like a dope life, bro.
Dude, if only
But-
see, this is why we need to figure out. We need to go to like Bhutan or something. Figure out the secret to reincarnation to keep our memories.
Yeah, I don't, bro. I mean,
Focus yourself.
God, that'd be great, man. Yeah, a bunch of like hot Eastern European chicks all over the place.
They
Crazy,
just want
dude.
you for no reason.
Well, for your money, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
No reason. I know.
Like, there's a reason, you know.
Girls don't just want money. Come on
I think in Eastern Europe they do.
now. You're not man enough.
Don't be like
While
Bill
they
Belichick
blow
over here, man.
smoke in your face.
yeah. She's smoking a cigar, you know.
Dude, all I know
Oh
is
my
that
God.
we need to figure this out because I'm tired of this 9 to 5. Okay, there's people living way better lives than me. All right,
That are much younger than us. That's
that
the
are much
problem.
younger than us. Right? What are we doing?
Let me ask
here?
you this. If you had the chance to be a mid-grade influencer making good money or like a cartel boss, what would you be?
Cartel boss.
Yeah, me too.
Influencer. I'm not trying to get killed.
Nah. Whoa. You're the boss.
You're a boss,
you're
bro.
you're the boss for now. It's
You're
always
boss,
the boss
man.
for now.
No. I'm talking like Pablo Escobar style. Like the CIA's got to come to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did get killed.
Who's the other guy?
Yeah, but he got killed in a dope way. What are you talking about, dude?
But
In a
he
very
did
dope way.
killed. I'm
All
not
these
trying to get killed.
all these
I'm
influencers
trying
are
to die
killing
in a bed
themselves.
full of my money.
No,
He
He was
influencers
sleeping on a
killing
bed of money.
themselves.
I
He
wanna
was
be
burning
80,
money.
still pulling like 20-year-olds. Okay, if I'm going to be rich.
First of all, there's no influencer that's influencing is so young. There's no 80-year-old influencer. Mr.
I'm
Beast
sorry.
isn't right.
I'll be
Belichick?
different influencer. We don't know. Maybe
No,
in 50 years they might be.
Maybe, but I'm talking about right now, right here and now, bro.
Yeah,
All
right
these
here and now.
influencers are killing themselves, or they do a dumb stunt and they get arrested, or they die.
Clown
Some
world.
cartel bosses are getting arrested.
No,
Yeah,
They're
dude.
exposing themselves. The
No,
America
dude.
comes in.
Who do you think runs Mexico, bro?
Dude, just because El Chapo got caught, it took them years to catch that guy,
But
And he
got
dug
caught,
a
Pablo
tunnel and
Escobar got
escapes.
killed.
and then he got caught.
escapes.
Well, if a nation state needs me dead, that means I'm doing something right.
Swear to God.
But you're gonna
Right,
end up
me-
dead.
Is El
Yeah,
Chapo dead?
Let me ask you this: in 100 years, are people going to remember Mr. Beast or Pablo Escobar?
Mr. Beast.
No, it's gonna be Pablo Escobar, bro. They'll be watching Narcos, being like,
So you're doing
"Damn,
it for
dude."
the
Yep.
legacy. You're not necessarily
Of
doing
course,
it for
I'm doing it for
money.
the legacy.
Why
Yeah,
wouldn't you
want
not
the
do it for the
Pablo
legacy?
Escobar mugshot to be everywhere.
everywhere.
Don't
I want to
hold
be
on.
lonely on that swing or that
Hold on.
bench that they always
You
show
guys
that
know
You're on a
Narcos.
Netflix
smoking a
series.
joint. Lonely on the bed, smoking a joint.
Bro.
You guys know there's two ways you die twice. When you physically die and when
Yeah.
the last person says your name. And I mean, Pablo Escobar's name is going to be
We've
far
been
we
saying
know
it like right now, where he's living right now.
living right now. In 1,000 years, he can be the next Jesus. You know what I mean?
I mean, they do put his face on those saint candles in Venezuela.
Yeah.
Colombia.
Oh yeah, Colombia. Medellin.
You said
I said Venezuela. Yeah.
Medellin. I mean, you got to think about it, man. Like legacy plays a part in it.
It's a huge part. It's a huge part.
Look,
yeah,
and that's why.
It's not like an influencer isn't leaving no legacy either. You know?
No, dude, they're just a moment. They're just a moment in time. Legacy is like generational. They're just a moment.
Content that's going to last the test of time, probably.
Look how many. Okay, let's go to this. If it wasn't an influencer, think about all like the musicians, right? Right? They were, or celebrities, right? I mean, there's like mid-grade celebrities, mid-grade people that made good money, but you're looking for like that Michael Jordan, that Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? That's what you exactly.
The best.
Rest in peace.
Those are the ones that stand out. Those are the ones that set their legacy. Everybody else just falls short. Escobar was the Michael Jordan in the cocaine business.
Yeah, bro.
How many people sold cocaine in the 80s? Not me, but I'm just saying.
Wasn't even born in the 80s.
Miami Vice.
Here's the thing. I think I'm gonna stick with the North Korean dictator. Like, you got your own country, bro. You got your own country. Like, the King of England does not have as much power as Kim Jong-un in his own country.
How big is North Korea? Because
doesn't matter.
They should take over South Korea. That would be your first move.
What do you mean?
That would be your first move.
It would be the first move. They're not going to attack China.
I want. If I'm not going to have half an island. I want the whole island.
Peninsula, first of all.
But then you trigger a whole.
Why do you think the U.S. still has troops in South Korea?
Well, we know that. I'm just saying. We all know why. But I'm saying, like, if you're reincarnated and you were, the dictator of North Korea.
Yeah, I think I'd probably make better choices. Like feed my people a little bit more. Yeah, but you don't want to give them too much hope. Like, you need to be the hope.
Maybe
I think what you should do,
labor camp, just to give them hope that more could be closed.
Does North Korea have a McDonald's?
No,
but there is one near the 38th parallel.
That's what you should do. Make a McDonald's in North Korea.
It's a Dunkin' Donuts.
You make one McDonald's. You give them enough wages where they can get one meal, and then just see what happens.
McDonald's, and you're gonna be like fucking what? It was like Boris Yeltsin with his like Pizza Hut commercial or something, or was it Gorbachev?
I mean, bro, Russia doesn't even have McDonald's anymore.
No, they got some knockoff though, right?
Yeah, some billionaire just made
called the McPutin.
Yeah, pretty much. I've been to the McDonald's in Red Square.
Was it good?
Yeah, was it cool, comrade?
It was pretty dope. It just tasted like McDonald's,
Did you?
Okay, it's pretty dope that all.
No. Yeah, the Tuma Lennon, yeah.
Yeah, you saw. Did you see his body?
Mm-hmm.
Was it cool?
Yeah.
Stalin's body's cool.
We didn't go on the Stalin side. His is on the back side. I think when I was there, it wasn't open. You can only see Lenin.
But you saw the Gremlin.
The Kremlin?
What did I say?
The Gremlin.
The Gremlin. Like the movie, bro.
Close enough. I'm sorry I bleed. I'm sorry I bleed red, white, and blue. I don't know what this
did you say
propaganda
you bleed red?
that you guys are speaking.
Did you say you bleed red, communist?
Yeah. Red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue.
Yeah, you do bleed red.
Yeah, of course we saw the Kremlin. I think we toured some building in there, and then we went to St. Basil's, which is the cathedral right there.
They blew up the Kremlin in Mission Impossible.
Which one?
The newest one that's about to come out.
Never seen it.
So you don't know for sure.
Dude.
Showing it like a commercial. We're blowing.
Yeah, what are you talking
about? Hold on.
They're not gonna blow up the Kremlin. They don't make shit like that anymore, dude. You're never gonna get like that You're never gonna get
Bro,
like that, like the
Yes.
scene in fucking Call of Duty.
you just gave me.
Duty.
All right, here it is. Dictator or the leader of Scientology. You want to be David Miscavige or Kim Jong Un, bro?
Scientology, 100%.
Oh
I mean,
100%, dude.
now that I think
living
about it,
large.
bro.
I'd be like,
Nobody-
guys, dude. Yes, I bought a mega yacht, but the Thetans. Just think of the.
But hold
Thetans,
on. Miscavige is like
Xenu
what?
decreed
5
it.
foot. Miscavige is like 5 foot tall. You don't want to be 5 foot tall.
Nobody said you had. I just said
could
the
be
head of
5'6",
Scientology.
dude.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how big, right? Like, you literally have people signing a billion-year contract to just clean your boat, dude, and you don't have to pay them anything. It's wild, and you get to live in America.
I think this is the real
We were
thing.
talking about starting a church. You know, like
No,
Horace said.
No, this is a real thing though, right? Like because people still sign up and believe in Scientology. We have to understand what mass psychology is. Like we have to start diving deep
About
in mass psychology.
psychosis? What, mass psychosis?
No, not mass psychosis, mass psychology. We
The
have to
study-
think how like the masses are thinking because that's crazy. That's crazy, right? I even with influencers, I think the influencers even they must do something by accident to attract to attract an audience or have an influence. You have to know something about mass psychology.
You gotta appeal to some people. I don't know, man.
We'll start writing a
it's
science fiction book and then eventually say it was real.
Ooh, would you guys help me? ChatGPT right now, baby.
You can do that. I mean, if you can write a science fiction book and become a science fiction writer, you only have two paths. Okay. So you can be a new church leader, like a Church of Scientology, or you can be a history truther.
I figured it out. I'm gonna just start telling people I have a UFO. No,
matter.
I'm gonna tell people I have a UFO. If you want to see it, you have to go through the levels, right? Each level is 2,000. One level's 2,000. Next level's 4,000. Next level is 6,000. In order to see the UFO,
I can only see it in this hat.
in order to see the UFO, you have to be at level 100.
He's like combining Scientology and Mormonism.
I could get that gravitational pull, man.
The Church of Jesus Christ and Thetans, and Latter-day Thetans.
Let's do it, baby.
Church of Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to. We're making this happen. Come see my UFO.
Damn, dude. But Jordan brought up Rogan, and I know Scott's dying. He's itching and dying to talk about the most recent episode of Joe Rogan.
It's true.
No,
I'm very proud of my brother. Like he finally broke through and realized that Rogan is kind of cooked. He kind of is brain wise. The Rogan verse falls.
Yeah,
Zahi
you know what I was thinking about this. Joe Rogan created his own like ecosystem.
He did,
unintentionally, and now he's stuck in it, and he can't see outside of it.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when he moved to Austin, started this comedy mothership and stuff, and there was like a whole bunch of comedians that also moved to Austin with him.
Yeah.
Which one out of all of them do you actually like?
I like Tony Hinchcliffe. I think he's pretty funny.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah,
Shane
Kill
Gillis.
In this Bill
Shane
Maher
Gillis
interview, though.
I watched a little bit of it. I didn't think it was that bad.
Shane Gillis is hilarious.
Just fell flat in his face. Like Bill Maher, you're like, how can you not roast him? It should be simple enough.
I mean, I think you mean like in the opening when he's like, roast me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like those guys turn it on and turn it off. You know what I mean? I don't think he was going in there expecting that kind of stuff.
Maher was like roasting him, and Hinchcliffe was like,
yeah. I mean, I think he was just trying to be a regular guy, man.
But you know what is so crazy? Because we talked about Zahi Hawass so much on this podcast, I honestly think we manifested that.
I did. Remember, we were just talking about how he needs to go on Rogan, bro. And Jordan's like, never. He'll never go on there.
He will never go on Rogan. Never.
Well, I never said never. I just said he had no reason to. But I guess he did.
Yeah. And then he asked them to introduce him in Houston, and Joe's like, "No, like, I'm not doing that, dude."
Wait, say that again?
Yeah, so like Zahi Hawass is, I guess, doing a talk in Houston. He's like, "Will you come and
Oh,
introduce
okay.
me?" And Joe Rogan was immediately like, "No, he's like, I can't." He's like, "I need more notice than that." And he's
I
like, "I'm
think,
busy. I'm too
I can't
busy."
imagine the audience would be too receptive to Rogan anyway.
but I mean, like Zahi
I don't
Hawass
know,
came with
man.
like a whole bunch of stack of notes. I'm glad he did. He wrote down. He was like bulletin points and all that stuff, and
Yeah, he
I'm just.
definitely. It almost seemed a little rehearsed.
But here's a red flag for me, right? The fact that Zahi Hawass has to constantly defend himself is a big
Yeah.
problem.
Well,
You know what
because
I mean?
well, at the
No,
same
no, it's because nobody believes him. That's the
well, no,
problem.
people have made him out to this big ass boogeyman, dude. He's the George Soros of history. And like, I mean, just look at the comments on the YouTube video. Everyone's just like, "Oh, he's defending himself. That's how you know he's guilty. Oh, he's guilty. He's the gatekeeper. He's the black figure doing all this. He's the Illuminati
I
of
mean,
history."
you he kind of brings it on himself though. When you say things like, "Oh, only me and Mark Lerner are correct in all of Egyptology," like that's some bullshit statement, bro.
He said
He
all archaeologists or whatever are wrong, bro. I can't say the word, but he said they are wrong, except for him and Matt,
Mark
whatever his name
Mark
is.
Lerner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I mean, like, dude, this is your guy, Jordan. This is your champion. And I mean, like, we gave him a shot on Joe Rogan, and it was Trump versus Biden. And it's just
Whoa,
it's
don't
so
compare Rogan to
undeniable,
Biden. That's a little messed up, dude.
dude. But it's just so undeniable that you can't. How do you take anything that he says serious? I mean, he's a nice guy though, because he kept
What do
offering,
you
like, "Hey,
wait.
come
Back
out to
up.
Egypt."
What do you mean you can't take him seriously? He's an ex. You can take
He
him
didn't even.
seriously.
What?
Who am I?
All right.
Who else am I supposed to take seriously? Graham Hancock?
What's Zep Tepi?
Zep Tepi?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is it?
What's the age of Zep Tepi?
I don't know. I don't even know what Zep Tepi is. I know Gobekli
I'm living in a different
Tepe.
timeline. I'm living in a different. This is no way.
Oh, so Rogan brought this up, and this is where I think I went a little off the rails with the Zep Tepi stuff. So, supposedly it has to do with the Egyptian like creation myth. It's like a time period, I
It's the
believe.
first. Yeah.
The
So it's
first
like when the
time, right?
gods, like Zep Tepi is the
Yeah.
time when the gods work,
And
walked
and
with man.
and here's the thing: is that Zahi Hawass, I think he understands like some of the structures and some of the societal stuff. I don't think he understood. He's not like a religious. He doesn't understand like some of the more cultural stuff of like ancient Egypt, and that was very. It was very apparent that he didn't seem to be like well versed in a lot of
Yeah.
Egyptian culture.
And you know what? If you're the top dog too, and they talked
He's
about
not
a
the top
different
dog.
like. Oh, I know he's not the top dog now. I thought he was
He
the top
hasn't been the
dog.
top dog for like over a decade.
Who's top dog?
The top dog is the Ministry of Antiquities.
I thought that was Zahi Hawass.
Zahi Hawass was minister for like a few months back in 2011.
And then he got fired for being.
He got fired because he defended Mubarak.
But
I
then
mean,
why does his words hold weight then? Why do you hold such weight to his?
He's a spokesperson. He's the face of Egyptology, but at the end of the day, he's not the guy making decisions.
Well, he was saying he's making decisions.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Making decisions.
Well, he's selling it as
he has influence, sure, but he's not the final yes or no.
I think he probably is
because that was another.
He's a shadow governor. Just because he's not officially in that position, he holds the keys. He is the tippy top dog of Egyptology.
Because he was saying too, which got me confused. I thought he slipped up when they were talking about the scanning of the pyramids, the satellite scan, and he said it was not me that is dismissing that. And I was like, wait a minute, if it's not you,
well, I kind of got what he was saying there. He was saying, he's like, this is not me as an expert saying this. He's like, there were other experts saying that this isn't.
Oh, okay.
Real. Okay. Yeah, and that was the thing. Rogan couldn't, I don't know if it was a language barrier, but he was pressing him so hard on this. And he's like, these other scientists are saying it's not real. And Joe's like,
That's
well, who cares what scientists say? These two guys said it's real. It must be, you know. And I get what he's saying. He's like, these people are quick to discount it because it's different or new. But I'm
yeah.
pretty sure there's been multiple people that I've listened to recently that are like, yeah, it's complete bullshit. Like the guy who's claiming to do this, he's kind of a known grifter in Italy, and he's done a lot of this stuff. He's like that.
He wrote
That
books about. He writes books on like ancient astronauts. He's
yeah, like,
basically ancient alien.
he's not credible. At the end of the day, like
That was
outside of Italy, he seems credible, but in Italy,
it's not.
you just write him off. Yeah.
But I had a feeling that's exactly why. I think he pressed him so hard. That's really why he wanted Zahi there for the podcast. Like he really wanted to get that answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was just that one question.
But I do think the Zep Tepe thing was interesting because he thought it was like a place. He's like, it's not real. Nobody's heard of it. It's not real. I've never heard of it. It's not real. It can't be real because I've never heard of it. It must not be true. It was like that kind of arrogance that was like really annoying. And he's like, it's just a creation myth. He's like, I'm surprised you never heard of this. And it was like some of those weird things. And then the Gobekli Tepe was interesting because I think it was Zep Tepe.
Yeah.
Gobekli Tepe, and he was
Right. He got
them.
that confused.
He really does not. He doesn't. Outside of Egyptology, I don't think he really looks at anything else. Like I think he's
Egypt is
locked in.
Egypt is
he's in his own. He's in his own echo chamber for sure.
But then,
and he's the only one talking in that echo chamber.
But then he talked about you know how like in the Bible with Moses with the magic. You know what I mean? The Egyptians.
I do think that was weird. I do think that was weird because
I thought
because Joe's like, do you believe in magic? He's like, of course. He's like, they wrote it down. It must be true.
It must.
He
be
literally
true.
said that, dude. Jordan, how do you feel about that?
Must be true.
Oh my god!
It was one of the weirdest statements he made.
And then he said, "Well, what is magic? And do you think like magic helped build the pyramids?" And he was like, "I don't know what magic is, and no, magic had nothing to do with the pyramids."
But he's like, magic must be real.
I think that must be like a language barrier thing.
Yeah, dude.
No.
It was not.
He kind of brought up the story about the magician.
He brought it up.
The story of what?
Of the magician.
Oh.
That talk about magic, and then Joe was like, "Oh, you believe in magic?" He was like, "Of course I do." He's like, "They wrote about it. They would never lie."
I see. My thing is
That's
like
a weird thing to say because Egyptians lied all the time.
Well, so here's another thing.
They lied to freaking the Greek who wrote the histories. They lied to him all the time.
Yeah,
Herodotus,
right? He actually brought up Herodotus a little bit. And the more interesting one I thought was like he was like, "Oh yeah, carbon-14 dating doesn't work. It's never been proven to work. It's not accurate." He's like, and so Joe Rogan, and credit to him because it was a little confusing. He was like, "Well, how do you date stuff then?" He's like, "Well, we just take the dates that they tell us." And he's like, "There's two ways to date." He's like, absolute dating. He's like, when you go and find the tomb and they say, "Okay, this guy he died in this year of the reign of so and so," and then and then the other side, he's like, where you kind of like figure it out by context clues. But and Rogan was trying to get like, "Whoa, how can you tell how old it is?" He's like, "Well, because they tell you this is the year." And it was like, again, I don't know if it was a language barrier, but he was not. He was just like, it's like you just whatever they say. He's like a literalist. You know what I mean? It's like somebody reading the Bible and being like, "Well, it was written down. It must be true." Like that's the way
he is 100%. Yep, you nailed it.
It was
right
really.
there.
It was kind of Jordan. You should listen to that part because it was like really like I got what Rogan was trying to get at because he's like, "Well, how do you date stuff?" And he's like, "We just use the dates that they tell us." And he literally was like, carbon-14 dating is not accurate. It's never been proven to be accurate. And I don't know if that's true. I
have no idea if that's true.
I didn't think that was true.
A lot of the carbon-14 dating usually backs up like the inscriptions of what they say.
Yeah, he was discounting it, saying it's never right.
Right.
I don't know if they're just like,
also,
it's not like I don't know how precise it is. Per se, I don't really.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody.
14.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's like, oh, it's 116 years old, right? It's like usually gives you like a time period.
It's strange he would say that, considering they carbon dated the mortar between the pyramid stones, and
They brought that up,
fine
and
with that.
he brought that up, and he said no, it wasn't real. He's like, you can't do that. You can't even carbon 14 date mortar. He completely dismissed that whole thing. And also, the thing on the King's list, there is a King's list, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
He said there's no such thing.
He said there's no such thing as a
King's list, but
and,
it's
not according to your champion. No, there is zero King's list.
There is a King's list, but some
there's not.
Yes, there is. There's a big ass wall, dude. You can
tell Zahi Hawass that.
Zahi Hawass said there's not one.
So tell Zahi Hawass that.
There is no way Zahi doesn't know that. He probably does know that. I have to see the context.
Rogan brought it up, and he said, hey, there's the King's list. He's like, a lot of people think it's only accurate so far, and then after that, it's kind of built on myth and legend. Well, where these for like 30,000 years, right? And he's like, that doesn't exist. He's like, we have a list. It only goes back to this dynasty. It doesn't go back further. He's like, that's just all. He's like, that's all made up. That King's list is, and Joe's like, well, yeah, it's not. Well, he's saying it's not real, but then he's saying it doesn't exist. He was literally saying this doesn't
exist.
Again, is he saying it's in? But he tried to clarify with him. He's like, yeah, it's just based on myth and superstition, and there's a point where they're not real people. And he was like, no, he's like, you're just making this up. It's not real at all.
He was saying it goes to like the 5th dynasty or something.
Yeah, it was something. He had a very specific date and time.
Yep.
Of like how far this one tiny list went, and he just completely dismissed the whole thing. It was really weird. Some of the stuff he was denying.
That is weird.
Extremely weird.
I learned about the King's list from him.
Dude, he said it's not real. Watch the video. It's crazy, dude.
You have to watch this podcast. I mean, Zahi Hawass is a good guy. And I think you're right, though, about him being like a literalist. Because, I mean, if you speak about anything that's like that could happen or might happen, he shuts it down immediately. And the crazy part is like we were always taught there was no hieroglyphs in the pyramids, in the Great Pyramids. But he said that there were hieroglyphs in the Great Pyramids in a certain part, but only he has them.
There are certain hieroglyphs inside. There is like certain hieroglyphs in it. There was also a cartouche in it. That's how they knew the Great Pyramids was Khufu's. Well, that and because of the mirror law.
Dude, it's so fishy with this.
He was being a little cagey about some things where they're like, hey, how come there's no picture? He's like, I have the pictures.
I have the pictures.
It was he was being very gatekeepy.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I made this new discovery. You'd never hear about it.
Yup.
I want to bring a Netflix crew out there, and we're gonna do it live. And it was just so. Some of the stuff he was saying, it was like very much like everything flows through me. He's like, you know how at least some researchers and like other academics, they'll be like, so and so is doing great work on this, or so and so.
Don't believe everything actually flows through him.
Listen to him,
dude.
He can say one thing, but like the reality
he did not.
Like,
he did not
bureaucracy when it comes to Egypt.
You didn't watch the podcast, so like
he did not give credit to any other Egyptologist. He didn't talk about but it was only that one time.
The one time about the book.
He didn't bring up anybody else's like work or anything that anybody else is doing. It was all about him.
Yeah, he said the opposite. He said everybody else doesn't know what they're talking about except for me. He literally said that. Like, I mean, like, dude, when I tell you it was Trump against Biden, I was sitting there like, how can you even? I mean, the people are gonna see with their own eyes. Like, listen, this guy should not be ahead of anything.
Everyone already has their mind made up about Zahi, to be honest.
I mean, watch it, dude. I'm telling you, it was like really.
Dude, it is.
I will say that is a shame that he mentioned Mark Lerner. Like I mentioned before in the last podcast, I'm not really a fan of Mark Lerner. I'm a big fan of other Egyptologists like Joanne Fletcher, Salima Ikram. She's really great.
Bro, he didn't bring up a single person that's doing anything in the field. He's like, everybody else doesn't know what they're talking about. If it's not in my book, it's not worth it.
Which is a kind of a shame. he is kind of like an old school Middle Eastern guy. So,
Bro, your dude is cooked. I'm sorry, Jay. Your dude is cooked.
he's
Like
not
well
cooked.
done cooked,
He's
bro.
not well done.
Like
cooked.
extremely burnt
He's
well
not-
done cooked.
He's not.
He
though.
he didn't come off well on it. He
That's
really
fine.
didn't.
I mean, he's not
at
a
first. It kind of.
podcaster.
I thought it was. He's going on it. He's starting to make the tour. He's making
he's
the
doing a
rounds.
lecture. He's not. He's not.
No,
doing
no.
A conversation podcast.
There's a couple people I've seen online. They're like, "Hey, Zahi Hawass is coming on in a couple weeks. What should I be like asking him?" Like he's
Like who?
making the podcast rounds. I don't remember.
Oh
I just
my
was
God.
scrolling.
Who has a gun to this man's head right now?
Bro, he's trying to sell books, man. Nobody's buying
Yeah,
his
he's
book.
just trying to sell the book
Someone
with
was
him
just
and Mark
"Bro, If
Larner.
you want to do this, you need to get on these shows.
Jordan. He literally wanted Joe Rogan to introduce him.
Yeah, because he offered to show Joe Rogan Egypt. So you
Why
might as well
is
return the
this-
favor, right?
Why is this so hard for you?
It was before that. He
You-
just
you
didn't
just-
come off well.
That's
He just
fine.
didn't
It's
come
not.
off well.
What do you mean it's hard for me?
Because, man, your champion fell hard. I mean, like,
He's still the
dude.
champ. I mean, like, there's no one really better. It really isn't. No one's perfect. Sorry, but like, again, no one's
Relax,
better either.
Zahi. Dude,
It's
when
just name a better Egyptologist.
I don't care about
Yeah.
Egyptologists.
Nobody
I'm just sorry,
cares.
but like, at the end of the day, he's the source. You got to go to the source sometimes.
I am glad that he's paying tribute to what's his name, Casey Edgar or whatever.
Casey.
Edgar
was-
Casey.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
he was part of the Edgar Casey Foundation when he was young. I mean, that's
I,
where he got
I
his
remember
start.
we had this big debate, and you were sitting there in your seat just like that, putting up your glasses, saying, "Yeah, nothing doing, Casey. There's nothing I can look
did
it up
not
right
say
now.
that.
There's nothing." Oh, dude, let me
Mark
tell you
Ler-
something.
Mark Lerner.
Mark
Lerner became an
Nah, dude.
Egyptologist because of Edgar Casey.
Now you're saying that stuff because like a couple months ago when we brought up Zahi Hawass and I was saying stuff about Edgar Casey, you were just
not-
in denial.
I think
In
you're remembering wrong.
denial.
I guess Zahi's not the only one cooked right now, but that's definitely not what I said. Anyway,
I said, I said,
Zahi's even indulged in the foundation. Again, he let researchers.
I know. I know he's in the.
Hancock and Casey take samples of the Khufu cartouche.
He did say that.
It's
I
not
think
that
he said-
it's not that he shuts it down completely. I mean, if anyone, that's more Mark Lerner who
Oh, yeah.
does that than
He
him.
did say he was the only open mind.
I mean, he's.
I mean, that kind of
open-minded
blew
than-
my mind.
He is
he's
far more open-minded than you think. I mean, compared to Mark Lerner or even Salima, he's far more open-minded.
He doesn't even believe in the King's List, and you sat there and told us what the King's List was.
Once again,
This is your
he's
guy.
not letting people who affiliate with Hancock inside the pyramid. He's the only one that let them in. Okay, it wasn't Salima.
I
It
thought you
wasn't
said
Mark
he had.
Lerner.
I thought you said he doesn't have that power.
Well, he was Minister of Antiquities
Oh
for a little
my,
bit, and that was
come
back then.
on, bro.
Bro,
Come
I mean,
on.
he can go wherever he wants, whenever he wants. He's got complete open power.
He
He's got
let
power.
Look, if
Mr.
he wants
P-
to go
he
into
let
the-
Mr.
if he
Beast
wants
in
to go
there.
into the pyramids. Yeah, it doesn't. How much influence are you expending for that? But I'm not saying everything
would-
isn't funneled through him. He can visit the pyramids, sure.
No,
Okay.
I mean,
would
he
give
brought
him-
Mr. Beast into some pretty restricted places where they usually don't bring people.
I'm pretty sure the government of Egypt was more than happy to help with that.
And I'm sure it was just him being like, "Yeah, we can go here," and they were like, "Yeah, I guess if Zahi says it, then okay."
Well, yeah, I mean,
I would
obviously
say
it was
this,
probably
though.
the Egypt government's just please do this, Zahi. Oh, you want a guy to do it? It's going to be Zahi Hawass. It doesn't mean he's the guy, you know?
He is the guy.
face.
You just said he is the guy.
I just said he's the face.
He's the guy. He can go. He can get anybody. If he says don't let them in there, they're not going to let them in.
And they didn't for Graham Hancock's show.
You just
right?
said it yourself.
Yeah. Bro,
You just
it's- I
said
mean,
he let them take a sample of the cartouche.
illegally.
Like you just said,
it was
he
actually
let them.
illegally.
yeah, but he
There was
still
actually
let
a
him.
scandal that he let them do that.
And then what happened to him?
He's not minister.
he
anymore.
still runs it. He still runs
That's
it.
not why. That's not why he lost it
That's not why he lost it, but it was during his ministry that happened, and a lot of people
during
were
his 6
pissed
months.
when that happened.
No, he
Well, it
got
was like
fired
3.
because something with corruption. He was corrupting.
He backed the wrong guy. That's what happened. That's just plain and simple. He backed the wrong guy, and Arab Spring happened.
Yeah.
That doesn't
I don't know,
mean that
man.
you're a shitty Egyptologist.
I'm not. Listen, if you watch the podcast, because I like
How far
Zahi
did you make it,
Hawass.
Jordan? How far did you make it?
He didn't. He knew as soon as he
I
pressed play, he got cooked. He
No,
knew
the
Zahi
problem is
Hawass
like
got cooked and turned it off.
Rewind back to the start of the episode. It's just hard for me to watch things nowadays. So I watched clips. But like
I just
sitting down
watched
for
it.
for a 2-hour show is just tough. It's tough.
What do you?
Yeah,
what
I
do you?
If
What
I
are
had
you, 10?
maybe if I had like a week, yeah, I probably would have sat down and watched it, but I only had like 2 days.
I kind of just listened through a little bit throughout the day. It just,
Yeah.
man, it was just.
I can't multitask like that. Like I can't just do something else while just listening to it.
But this is your guy. You're about to. The thing is,
I
you're
just
about
do it
to,
when I was like driving to work, walking into the,
You're about to go see his lecture for 2 hours, and you can't sit there and watch a podcast for 2 hours or listen to a podcast
for the show, so it kind of makes me want to sit down and look at it.
And this one is free.
It's just tough
to watch
I'm
him get
sorry,
cooked,
man. I mean, like,
I get it. I get it.
It's just how my mentality works.
I just think he just didn't do himself any favors.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I
yeah.
will defend
just
his
the-
open-mindedness though, because I've seen.
I
worse.
won't.
I've seen far worse.
Just because you seem worse, doesn't mean he's open-minded.
Bro,
He's
he
open-minded.
complete. No,
No,
dude. I mean,
it wasn't Lerner letting those people in. Just saying.
Just letting people in has nothing to do with open-mindedness. It's
Of course,
he's
if he was
an
not
opposite
open-minded,
guy.
they would have never gotten near the pyramid. I'm sorry. It's
Why?
just true.
I think this was a big.
If he
turn.
wasn't open-minded, he wouldn't have been
Nah,
a fan with
dude.
Edgar Casey.
It's something big is gonna happen in the next month, because now that millions of people are gonna watch this podcast,
Nothing's gonna happen, bro. Nothing's gonna happen.
I'm telling you, it was a Trump and Biden debate level
Nothing's gonna happen.
thing.
Rogan ain't gonna shake up the country of Egypt, dude.
He's gonna shake up a lot of scholars that are gonna stop. Like,
that is not
who is
true
this
whatsoever.
guy?
Scholars are not putting too much weight on this.
Dude.
The only scholars are your Google scholars that think they discovered something that they're not talking about from a WordPress document, or
So,
the alt
I mean,
history brain rots
you're
that
ta-
listen too much to like Grant Hancock or Von Daniken.
How can you talk about something you couldn't even watch? That's my thing. You couldn't even watch the podcast. You couldn't even watch your own champion get cooked, and you're sitting there trying to defend him. Dude, he got
successfully,
roasted.
I might add.
No, it
No,
just
dude,
makes
it
you
was
come
not
up
good.
delusional.
How is it
the
delusional,
problem.
bro? I know what Zahi is like. Okay, I've been listening to
You
Zahi
met the
since
guy?
middle school.
But listen to this, man. Some of the stuff he was
only
saying
thing
just
you know
did
about
not
Zahi is
line
the
up.
podcast and what people talk shit about him about. When
I-
have you ever sat down and listened to one of his lectures?
I will say I've listened to a couple of his things. He is not a great speaker.
Oh, he didn't even. This
His
guy
accent
didn't
is
even
tough.
know
You
that.
get used to it,
No.
but his accent can be tough.
I like that. I like the accent. He didn't even know what was the
I think
curse
it's
of
tough.
hieroglyph. The curse of hieroglyph that he wasn't. It was a hieroglyph. What, Jordan? He was talking about You listen to Zahi Hawass, so you know this answer. So he was talking about hieroglyphs, but in a cursive way, and they call them hieroglyphs. Is that what they're called?
Hieroglyphs?
Yeah.
Hieroglyphs? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God, dude. I thought you were a Zahi fan. So anyway, my thing was, bro, if you're in Egypt for 60 years and you can't, and you know what I mean? It's like you still don't know some of these, like what hieroglyphs are. Like you're studying these hieroglyphs and you don't know what they say. I think that's a red flag.
Okay.
Does that not? I mean, to me, it comes off like, I know he's been like, to me, it's like corporate. Like he's not in it for the passion. He's just in it for the money to get famous. You know what I mean?
He is 100% in it for passion. He's one of the most passionate people about Egypt. It's his home country. One of the reasons he got so big was so Egyptology can be returned to Egypt.
Nah, that sounds just like PR. Bro, the dude's chasing the limelight. Like, he really is. Because he wants to be the authority. And it came off very evident. Like, unless you're talking to me, it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. It's just me. I'm the authority.
Gatekeeping to the max.
He is the authority.
But maybe it's because he won't allow anybody else that
Who else
space.
would it be? I'd rather him than Mark Lerner.
I bet you.
I don't care about. I'm just saying, like, if you only have two options, that means that there isn't enough space in the field.
There is a lot
for
of
people
space in the
to
field.
rise up. Doesn't sound like it.
There is
because unless you're Zahi Hawass, you're wrong.
In Egypt.
The fact that he's like a gatekeeper, or the fact, dude. I mean, like,
then why does he denigrate anybody else who's trying to do it?
He said what he said. I can't tell you the meaning
Because-
behind it.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, that just seems weird to me.
That's what he said.
Is he hiding something?
What would he be hiding?
I don't know.
I think he's nearing the end of his life, and he's just is trying to leave his legacy and leave his mark.
Well, I mean, he's a good guy, but as soon as he goes,
I don't know.
man,
He just came off like not great. I was not impressed.
I mean, that's fine. I mean,
I want to know though, when you go to his lectures, you know people are gonna combat him. You know that, right?
maybe one, but like those people aren't.
No.
Nah,
really
most of those
any
people,
them.
most of those people are gonna be sycophants. Like, they're not gonna question him at all. They'll be like, "Oh my god, there he is! It's Jesus!" Like that's how they treat him.
There's no way, dude. Anybody with a brain,
bro. He's got fanboys.
Everyone has fanboys. I mean, like, look at the people who
don't change the subject. Don't deflect from Zahi Hawass
about Graham Hancock. I mean,
don't,
I fought many people who are sycophants of that guy. He's the true Jesus of discovering history. I mean, Scott doesn't even question him.
Dude, first of all, Graham Hancock talks about ayahuasca and stuff like that, right? All we're saying, I'm not. Nobody knows what happened, but we want to be able to. We're asking questions to answers. We want answers. All right, hold on. We're asking questions that should be questioned. That's the problem.
Yeah, I
and
know.
we can't get the right answer.
Get to Amenti, right? Why can't we get to the Hall of Knowledge in Egyptian
Nobody knows.
These are good questions.
Out of everybody that talks about the scanning of the pyramid, you're the only person I ever heard that talks about Amenti. The only one.
It's in the paper.
It's not in the paper. I looked through the paper.
The paper.
I literally
did not read the paper. No, you didn't.
You didn't read the paper.
No, you didn't read that paper. You didn't read the paper and you didn't see their press release. I showed you them.
I read the paper. There was no word Amenti in there. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And this is coming from the person that didn't listen to his champion get cooked on Rogan.
Oh my God.
And you're going to sit there and try and tell me that you
had
time to sit there and read the paper?
Listen to all the alternate history, folks. Never question Hancock. Never question the science fiction writer from New York.
I'm not saying that.
George Soros.
I'm saying
this guy. What is he hiding?
Question everything.
Serbia. I can't believe he locked down Serbia from releasing their giant pyramid. That bastard.
Question everything.
I do question everything.
You don't question Zahi.
I do question Zahi.
About the King's List, right? Because you believe there's a King's.
That's completely weird to say.
For me, that was the weird thing was the King's List and him not having any kind of understanding of Egyptian religion and like the myths that go along with it. I just feel like that's just knowledge that you've built over time. You know, you might not specialize in that, but I expected more from him when it came to that kind of
as
stuff.
Somebody who looks up, like
same with the hieroglyphs too.
Yeah,
when he was talking about the hieroglyphs.
I don't even know what you're talking about with that one. But the
if you watch the podcast.
All right, dude. The ultimate authority. It's always Joe Rogan for some reason. Anyway.
No, the ultimate authority is Zahi. That's the problem.
Always just if it's not on Rogan, it's not the ultimate authority. But like, yeah, I totally get the mythology part because, like, you know, he's an archaeologist, and like you try to use the myths as like a reference.
60 years, bro.
Okay, I get it.
60 years in Egypt.
Okay.
He's got to, like Chris said, he's got to, over time, 60 years, bro, mingle with the people around you.
It was just
mingle with the people in Egypt.
I mean, Egypt Okay, Egypt
We
mythology
how
is not
many
the religion of Egypt.
we look at how many tour guide people comes out and they talk about they know everything because of the people.
Okay,
And then you're gonna sit there and tell me Zahi doesn't know? Come on,
Zahi has
bro.
a different focus than these people. These people are show and tell. Zahi is an archaeologist.
And all he
Yeah.
ever talked about was my new discovery. I'm gonna do a new discovery. I'm gonna
Okay.
plan something and bring in Netflix, and we're gonna have a new discovery.
You know, there was a couple things he said where he was like, "Oh yeah, that just was discovered like 6 months ago or something." I can't remember what it was, but I was like, I feel like that's been around for a while.
Yeah, dude.
There was like a
Yeah.
couple things he said where like with the way he was dating it was like he had just discovered it, and I can't remember what it was, but I was like, I feel like that's not new.
He could be wrong. There's also, it's Egypt. They made a ton. It's weird to find something truly unique in Egypt nowadays. So it could.
He
be
said he found
something.
what was he saying? He found the tomb of something he thinks recently.
Osiris?
No, that was the
No.
shaft. That
The
was
shaft?
the Osiris shaft. It
That
was
he did discover.
somebody's tomb. I cannot.
I think you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. It's like Seti the third, Seti the second. No. Tutmos the third. Was
No.
it Tutmos the third?
Maybe.
He was
He said
talking
it was outside of Saqqara.
He said he had to
Yeah.
was this the one where he said he had to drain the water and then he went
Yes,
underneath?
That was Tutmos. That was
Maybe.
Tutmos. It was like Tutmos
When was
maybe
that?
the second or the third. I can't remember what, but it was empty.
Maybe
was that?
maybe the name he's saying.
It's actually pretty interesting, the whole story around that tomb.
But here's another thing though.
Mostly because it kind of threw into question if we actually had his mummy or not. Because we don't
here
100% know.
no, hold on, stop. Here's the thing too. He says he will have a discovery and he wants to make the discovery live, but he will actually do the discovery, see what's going on, then like a month later call in the people and make it live.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's a big show.
I mean,
every time there's a
yeah,
discovery, might as well bring
but
in
I'm saying-
cameras, right?
Right, but listen to what you said like 2 minutes ago. You said, "Yeah, we found this tomb, but it was empty."
It was empty. It
So
gave
I'm
more
saying
questions and answers, actually.
so I'm probably saying there's a little bit there could be something going on.
I also, you know what I think though is
I mean, it was mostly it's also logical that it was empty because we have the mummy. The mummy was somewhere else. So why would the tomb be filled with anything if the mummy wasn't even there?
How did the mummy get out of the tomb if we just discovered it?
Because there's something called those caches, those king caches, in which case usually a tomb would get robbed or would get broken or something like that. And so what they would do is take the king that's in there, take all the stuff too, and throw it down a hill that no one will find it. That's how we found most mummies. They were all packed together in small caches. Most tombs were not intact. That's why King Tut was famous, because it was the only real intact tomb we ever found.
Yeah, I think he's also I think if he had like hired like a better PR person, bro, just film it yourself with some iPhones and shit. You know what I mean? He's kind of stuck in that like 90s, early 2000s mentality where he needs like a whole production crew to go.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude,
do it yourself.
you could do it live. Can you imagine if he was going into a new tomb live on Facebook or fucking Instagram
But
for the first time ever? That
he
would be
won't-
wild.
But he won't do it live because what if they discover something like a real discovery? Like,
It does seem like he
kinda
wants to
think
kind of
he's just
keep
a
that stuff.
boomer about it.
He-
The dude's
He's
77.
definitely a boomer.
He's in Egypt, and let's not pretend Egypt is the most glamorous country, is the most first world country you can live in.
he was chain smoking those cigars.
Yeah,
bro.
he was. He
Again,
was smoking hard. Bro.
Dude, he's Middle Eastern, man. They chain smoke.
I think somebody was telling me. I think it's Cairo, where just breathing the air is equivalent to smoking a pack of cigarettes a day.
Dude,
Like the pollution's that bad.
Cairo has a huge population problem because you can only live in certain places in Egypt. You can only live around the Nile. You got this whole square country, but like 80% of it is uninhabitable.
Yeah,
You know
what's it
what?
like? 20 kilometers on either side of the Nile or something is fertile or something like that.
Is fertile. You can only live. Yeah, you can only live along the Nile. And I think Cairo is I think, is one of the largest cities in the world, right? With population-wise. They're just
Probably is,
packed. They're
yeah.
just jammed in there. That's why Sisi's building his new capital, New Cairo.
I'm just happy that this finally happened, and I got validation. I'm just finally,
What validation did you get?
bro. Like I said, it's the
That
Trump
you
versus
don't
Biden.
you don't like Zahi?
I mean,
That's
dude,
great.
there's no debating. There's no nothing.
You got your brain
couldn't
cooked.
even watch it yourself because he
You
was getting
don't,
cooked.
dude. You can't even listen to a Zahi lecture.
I was
would,
expecting
would.
I was
But
expecting
you
him to
don't.
come
You
off
only
a
listen to
little
people who
more
talk shit about Zahi, dude, and you're just like, wow, I got validation by hearing just one side.
He got cooked,
but it was his
Okay.
side.
and it was his side from his mouth.
But this is what I mean, though. But like, you're going in there already made with your mind made up
No,
about Zahi.
no.
I was actually expecting him to be like a little more like humble, a little more like, hey man, like I just do it, you know. But he just came off so aggressive, you know what I mean? It was just like very and dismissive of anything else. Very dismissive.
Very dismissive. That's a problem. That's a red flag that you are just not ready for.
And I'm sure he works with these other Egyptologists. And I'm just so used to like, you know, especially when you talk to like or like listen to things with like physicists, mathematicians, and all these other like what they're always like, oh, so and so is doing great work here. They're doing awesome, you know, exploration here, doing this, and this could be a breakthrough. It was like none of that. It was like this is all I care about is just what I care about. And it wasn't about Egyptology as a whole. It was just like if I'm not looking at it, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't exist.
That's what he said. And it was
doesn't
just so weird. I thought he'd be there more like championing, like, hey, Egyptology is a rigorous academic field. We have people doing great stuff. And he didn't do any of that. He just was out there just being like very, very protective. And I do think it's interesting. He was referencing a lot of things. Like tools and stuff, remember? And they could not find the photos online. And he's like, "Oh, they're in my book. They're in my book. They're in my book." And he said they were gonna
I'm
like
sure there's a lot of things that they don't have publicized just yet. That one
Gatekeeping.
doesn't surprise me at all.
That's what
No,
gatekeeping.
but some of it was like older stuff. He was saying, "Oh, I wrote about this years ago," and I don't know if he's like has some kind of proprietary like he doesn't want it published outside of his books.
Yeah,
because if you want to see it, you got to buy his book. Kind of.
it was like the devil. They were using the devil.
He was talking about whatever that stone was. Oh my god.
Oh,
the Rosetta.
No, like a type of stone that's
the
like
type of stone. Yeah,
yeah.
That's
That's
what
like yeah.
that was another
Dolomite?
thing.
Dolomite, something like that.
Dolomite.
But everything was in his book, right? It wouldn't, and I mean, like, if it was so like groundbreaking, you know, I'm sure it would make it on the internet.
God, did you watch the whole video? I listened to most of it. I didn't watch it. Did they ever splice in any of the photos that he said he was gonna send to him?
The videos were not sent. It said it with Joe Rogan.
Is that what it said? Yeah. So he claimed he was gonna send all these videos and pictures to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'll just talk to so and so. He's like, I got him. I'll send them to you right after this. I guess he never sent them because he's like, oh, we'll splice them in. He's like, that would be great. He's like, we want to see this stuff. And again, I think it just shows you like how he's just not as.
He said it was in my laptop. In my laptop in California.
It was Las Vegas.
Vegas.
He just came off as like not being very forthcoming. Like it was weird. I was just I don't know. I expected more from him. You know what I mean?
I did too.
Like, I wanted to be blown away. Be like,
I did too. I really was like,
I mean,
all right,
fair.
finally.
I didn't really expect anything mind blowing. I mean, if I would, then I maybe would have probably would have sat down with it earlier. But I wasn't expecting anything. It was also like his first podcast appearance, so I didn't really know what to expect. But I didn't think it was going to be anything groundbreaking. I mean, like he's a lecturer, not really a talker. Kind of.
Well, he lectured during it though. He wasn't very conversive because the moment there was a question or anything, he got very combative and defensive. Like even just like for like very benign questions,
which is weird because usually when he's asked questions, he's usually very good about it. I don't know. I think maybe
he was on defense the whole time.
He might
was
have,
that,
he might
and
have
that's a
thought he was walking
problem.
into like a lion's den with Rogan. And let's be real. I mean, Rogan's guests are usually pseudo historians. So, I mean, I'm sure he walked in there feeling like, this was like I don't want to say a trial, but something like it.
Like a trap?
An ambush or something.
Like
Like
an
But
ambush?
yeah.
it didn't really. It didn't start out like that. It just he kind of built to it. The
Because
moment
the
got,
moment he
like, a
would ask
little
a
bit of-
question or a
it
little
was-
pushback, he would just, but my thing was just like I think it's a big problem if you have so many. He talked about it, how he would always have to be combative with people. I think that's a problem. That's a red flag, because if you have so many people that are attacking you and you're always on defense, what are you doing?
I'm not
What
surprised.
are you doing?
I mean, dude, there's just so much conspiracy out there nowadays.
It's not even
There's
conspiracies.
so much,
it's
and people are just
because-
getting louder in the new age, in this age of the internet. And,
Oh my God.
podcasts, you can't really combat them. I mean, like, look at you.
How
You
about
think
this?
he's like
All right,
George
how about this?
Soros.
How about this? Nobody brought up George Soros but you.
I'm just saying
'cause
that's
you
how you
just-
treat
because
him
you're-
like. That's exactly how
No.
you treat him like. I'm just calling a
You-
spade a spade.
No, I'm
That's
telling
exactly how you treat him.
you literally can't say anything because you didn't watch the podcast. You literally didn't take the
I'm
time
sorry.
out your
I'm
day
sorry. Yeah,
and watched it. You're literally defending nothing.
you haven't been to
Like,
Egypt.
you
I bet
literally
you would
have
take
no
offense if
say.
someone said, you can't speak on Egypt because you never visited. I can't speak on Zahi because I didn't see the podcast, right?
I mean, I guess that's true. I've
guess so.
never been there.
I
Have you been
will-
there? But you're speaking
Have
on it.
not. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
equivalent.
But you're speaking on it. So let me ask you this: if you're a big Zahi fan, because Joe Rogan asked him, how did they build the pyramids then? What about the base? What about the base of the pyramid that's different than the rest?
What do you mean, like the inner granite compared to the outer limestone?
Just how did they build it? Or how did they
Pulley
build the
system,
Sphinx?
dude. The
How about this?
Sphinx was
How
a
did-
lot easier than the pyramids. A lot of people think the pyramids, the Sphinx was built after the leftover granite from the Great Pyramid. I personally think it was I personally think it was from Khafre's pyramid, not necessarily Khufu's pyramid, but it was just a belt and pulley system, man. I mean, that's what people.
The
throughout
Sphinx was
history
one
have
big-
said.
No, he said the Sphinx was one big giant block.
It was
One
not
big giant stone.
block,
This is what this man said.
but it's not.
And he said they built the head first and the body was on bad granite or bad whatever. That's what made the erosion.
Mm.
He said it was.
I mean, there is a quarry right there. That's where they got their granite That's where they got the granite. It's right next to the pyramids.
And he said the base of the pyramid, the Great Pyramid's not even blocks. It's like one big.
Yeah, he said it's like a giant stone.
It's
It's
like
blocks.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of big stones, but it's
But
blocks.
this is the problem.
He said it was
too.
like solid rock. He said it was like built on a base,
It was built on a base. So
like a stone base.
Oh,
that
that
was the first.
base. I mean, it might.
Yeah.
Be. I don't know.
oh my god.
I don't know. That was the first time I'd ever heard that before.
That was the first time I ever
I've
heard
never
that too.
either.
Yeah.
But that's your guy though.
That's what he
your
said.
Okay,
guy.
yeah, the guy I don't question for some reason. Yet here am I questioning it.
As you should. Thank you.
As
All
I
right, we're
should.
getting
Thank you.
somewhere.
Yeah, I know. You're
We're
usually
getting
wrong about
somewhere.
stuff. I get it.
You just wanted one thing. I will say when he was talking about the Kings list, I was like, I swear to God, Jordan's talked about this before. Because I started questioning myself,
I
being
love the
like,
King. I used to have a poster of the Kings list.
You're like, dude, we're in a different timeline.
I'm telling you, it really felt like that. Because I was like, the things he was dismissing, I'm like, I was like, I think we even just talked about this stuff.
I know.
It was really odd.
All right. Here's this.
All right,
Here's
all
this. All right. So obviously, I don't know about the base thing. He could be wrong. I don't really know. I mean, like the base is.
I'd never heard that before.
I mean, underneath the pyramids is just granite. That's a whole granite quarry where Giza is. There's a lot of granite. That's where they got their stones. The limestones came further past Saqqara. But the granite was mined in Giza. It's native to Giza. So it could be granite underneath the pyramid. I don't know. That's could have how they got. So I don't know what he's talking about on that one, but the inner casing is definitely not one block. The Sphinx, I don't believe, is one block. I don't even believe he would say it came from
No,
the
he
pyramid of
didn't say the
Khufu.
inner casing. He didn't say the inner casing was one block. He was talking about the base of the
Oh,
structure.
the base
He
of the
said it was.
structure.
He said it was 20 feet thick of a solid like stone structure.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it might be. I mean, it's built on
I don't
top of
know.
a granite base. That's again, that's where they quarried
So,
the
so
granite.
did they dig it out and like create a base for it?
I mean, it's possible.
I feel like a granite quarry though
there's
is probably deeper than 20 feet.
during the SARS that do penetrate, like the sand and stuff, that don't go all the way down like that. There is like leftovers of them quarrying out around the pyramids. There's like leftovers of their work, and you can tell from other things like where the land bridges they made towards the pyramids and stuff, like where they would possibly drag the granite blocks. I'm not totally sure how they did it, but so I mean it's possible. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't sound like something to me. Personally, I wouldn't have ever suspected that. It's not my theory. He would probably say the Sphinx.
It's not a theory, it's a fact. When it comes from Zahi Hawass's mouth, it's a fact.
Okay.
He's a literalist. I'm just letting you know it's not a theory. He believes in zero theories.
Zero theories. Okay. So I mean, most discoveries start off as a theory. King Tut was a theory. Akhenaten was a theory. He's not on the King's list. There's a lot of theories out there. It doesn't mean
there's no such thing as a King's list.
That don't make sense.
You're talking about King's list. That there is no King's list.
Okay, dude, give me one thing you question about Graham Hancock.
I question a lot of stuff about Graham Hancock.
Give me one.
Atlantis.
Yeah, you don't think Atlantis existed?
No, Atlantis. I mean, I think Atlantis was like a period of time with a whole bunch of civilizations.
So it did exist. So he is right.
I would say it coincides with the Tower of Babel from the Bible for sure.
You believe the Tower of Babel existed, really?
I think it was more like a metaphor. Like you had all these civilizations around the world.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, and I'm trying to explain my point. So I think it was a whole bunch of civilizations around the world that spoke nearly the same language, that used the same architectural techniques, and then the hand of God came in and destroyed whatever, and now we are all separated and we don't get along with one another.
Okay.
Hence the time of Atlantis.
I think the thing with Hancock though is his theories have kind of changed pretty drastically over the last like 2 decades. Like it's becoming less and less. Hey, I think there's this Atlantean highly advanced civilization. Is just saying, hey, there was a civilization forgotten period in our time, in our history that was more advanced than we want to believe, that could explain some of these more megalithic ancient structures. And I think he's trying to give more credit to those other civilizations. Then before I think it started out as like there was these advanced civilizations. That's the only way this stuff happened. And it's turned more into like, I think there's a forgotten period due to whatever, right?
There's
a cataclysm, right? With the Younger Dryas.
Yeah.
But
Younger Dryas.
Yeah. But
like, I mean, me personally, I think there is like some type of lost, like, I mean, even if like a comet or an asteroid hit us now and wiped us out, you know what I mean? What would survive? Just probably the Great Pyramids, right? Or anything that was made from stone. Anything else would just be dust.
And we do have a lot of it. But
so
what's keeping the ancient civilization stone things from surviving? Those who came before, as they were called.
Oh, the Zep Tepi people that don't exist neither.
I just said I don't even know about Zep Tepi.
Bro, you literally just said that with the King's list. When you were going down the King's list, you literally said Zep Tepi.
No, I didn't.
No, he didn't.
Don't worry, don't worry, I'll clip it for you guys. I got you.
I don't think he said that, dude.
I got you.
I think I think you might have heard me saying
about, man. Dude, you have like this.
I'm gonna agree with Jordan here. I don't think he said that at all, dude. You just made that
up. I
up.
don't even know what
Nope.
Zep Tepi is. When you said
I
Zep
got
Tepi, I
it.
thought Göbekli Tepe.
That's what Zahi Hawass thought too.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that Tepe was I thought that was like a known thing.
No, I mean, like, there's a lot of places in like Egyptian myth, dude. I can't even keep track of them all. They kept like coming up and refining. Again, you know, it's a religion that lasted for like 2,000 years. So, you know,
But you don't
hard to keep track of it.
But you don't believe in anything like Graham Hancock says, or you don't like he doesn't get you to think. Yeah, but you don't think like you don't
I think what he says is interesting. I wish it was true. I just don't think it is. I wish it was. It's cool science fiction.
It's not the fact that it's true or false. It's the thing that it gets you to think. Like, hey,
that's great,
this is
dude.
more spectacular than
I treat him how he is. He's an entertainer.
Dang. I mean, like, dude. I mean, you're just a lost one, then.
I know. I'm just
unfortunate.
A lost one. Why should I listen to fucking scholars and experts? I should listen to the guy on Netflix.
Oh, you mean Zahi Hawass, the gatekeeper? I mean, come on, bro. I mean, you couldn't even watch it. It was so bad.
I didn't even try.
Dude, because you knew, like you said before, he wouldn't even go on Joe Rogan. What? Like, if he was,
see if you can find the clip about the King's List. It was kind of odd.
Okay.
Start there. But, all right. I think we argued that enough, dude.
Alrighty. We're at
I think I won today.
Sure, dude. I mean, when you're not making up stuff. All right. Let's close it up.
Ow, that hurt. That hurt. I don't know if I can go on. I need Zahi Hawass.
I know. I need Graham Hancock, the guy Scott can't question. Anyway.
Hold on. I question Graham Hancock. You can't even question Zahi.
Graham Hancock.
Who just got burned?
Questioned him.
Bro, your guy, Biden got wrecked.
I hate.
Kamala got
the guy
wrecked.
I like, please.
No.
You hate the guy I hate?
Why do you constantly follow losers? You like Biden. You got mad that Biden got kicked out. You love Kamala.
Biden won the election.
She lost. Now your guy
what can I say?
is getting destroyed. Now your guy got cooked. I am just trying to help you. That's it. Think. You don't have to be all...
Anyway. Thank you, Tower of Babel believer, for some reason. Anyway.
Thank you.
Trying to help me believe in mythos. That's all the time.
See, that's your problem. That's your problem. You think myth? No, that's your problem. Because you think every myth tale is fairy tale.
If I was high.
Fairy tale. I'm gonna just not believe in fairy tales.
I mean, usually you shouldn't.
Okay.
All right.
Zahi Hawass believes in magic.
Let's wrap this up.
Do you believe in magic?
Let's wrap this up.
You believe in magic, don't you?
Me?
Do you believe?
Magic?
Yeah, I know you. You do believe in magic. Zahi Hawass believes in magic.
I don't know why you think I'm in lockstep with Zahi. I don't know who told you this.
You are.
Me.
You're
in
lockstep
with Zahi.
I don't know, dude.
Okay, whatever. It's cute, I guess.
It is
all the
cute.
time we have left. Thank you for listening to Back Society. This is Jay signing off.
This is S, the champion.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. See you, money, later.
Peace.